You watered yesterday, you'll water again today. And your plants still look like they're struggling. Here's something most gardeners never figure out. Watering every single day is one of the most common ways to heal a vegetable garden slowly. Not drought, not heat, watering. This garden gets watered twice a week, not every day. Twice a week, the plants are bigger, the yield is higher, and the gardener spends half the time at the hose. That's not a coincidence. And once you understand what's actually happening underground when you water every day, you'll never look at your garden the same way. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what happens to your plant's root system when you water every day. I'll explain the wet-dry cycle that actually drives root growth and nutrient absorption. And I'll give you a specific watering schedule with temperatures, frequencies, and a dead simple soil test you can do with one finger so you never guess again. Everything I'm sharing comes from Penn State Extension research, USDA soil moisture studies, and published plant physiology. Not gardening folklore, science. Let's start underground. Here's what a healthy vegetable root system looks like. Deep, wide, with fine root tips, actively absorbing water and nutrients from a large volume of soil. Now, here's what happens when you water every single day. The roots stop going deep. Why? Because they don't need to. Water is always right there at the surface, so the plant builds a shallow, surface-dependent root system, maybe 4 to 6 inches deep instead of the 18 to 24 inches it's capable of. That sounds manageable. Until August hits, temperatures go above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and you miss one day of watering. A plant with shallow roots has no reserve. It wilts in hours. There's a second problem. Soil is not solid. It's full of tiny air pockets, pore spaces that roots need to breathe. When you water every day, as pore spaces stay filled with water, there's no oxygen reaching the root zone. A 2020 study published in the journal HortScience found that tomato roots exposed to continuous soil saturation for more than 48 hours begin showing cellular damage at the root tips, the exact part of the root responsible for water and nutrient uptake. Daily saturation, 51% root function. Your plant is working at half capacity, not because of disease, not because of bad soil, not because of the weather, because of how often you're watering. Most gardeners develop a routine. Water every morning. Every evening, it feels responsible. It feels like care. But what you're actually doing is training your plants to be dependent, shallow-rooted, fragile, and completely reliant on you showing up with the hose every single day. Here's what actually drives plant growth: the wet-dry cycle. When you water deeply and then allow the soil to partially dry out, not completely, just partially, something powerful happens. The water retreats deeper into the soil profile, and the roots follow it. Penn State Extension's vegetable production research describes this as moisture stress-driven root elongation. It sounds technical. Here's what it means in plain English. A plant that occasionally experiences mild surface dryness will send roots 12 to 18 inches deeper than a plant that's always moist at the surface. Those deeper roots access cooler soil. They access nutrient reserves the shallow roots never reach, and they give the plant a buffer, a reservoir of stored moisture that gets the plant through a hot day or missed watering without wilting. And here's the nutrient side of this equation. Most vegetable garden nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, are concentrated in the top 6 to 8 inches of soil, but many micronutrients, calcium, magnesium, trace minerals, these leach deeper. A plant with deep roots accesses both layers. A shallow-rooted plant only gets half the menu. A 2018 USDA Agricultural Research Service trial found that tomatoes grown with a regulated deficit irrigation schedule, meaning they were allowed to partially dry between waterings, produced 18% more fruit per plant compared to continuously irrigated controls. Same soil, same variety, same fertilizer. The plants that got less water more strategically outproduced the ones that got more water mindlessly. 18% more fruit from watering less. That's not a typo. Here is the only tool you need to know when to water: your finger. Push it 2 inches into the soil. That's roughly the length from the tip of your finger to the first knuckle. Feel what's there at 2 inches deep, not at the surface. The surface lies. It dries out in an hour of sun and tells you nothing about the moisture available to your roots. Most of 2 inches, do not water. Come back tomorrow and test again. Barely damp at 2 inches, you can water today or tomorrow. Not urgent. Dry at 2 inches, water now. and water deeply, not a sprinkle. A full, slow soak until you see water draining from the bottom of your container, or until you've applied at least 1 inch to your in-ground bed. 1 inch of water per session? Here's how you know when you've hit that. Take a clean, empty tuna can, the standard size is about 1 inch deep, and place it in your garden bed. When it's full, you've applied 1 inch of water. It's the cheapest irrigation gauge you'll ever use, and it works every time. For containers, water slowly until you see a steady stream coming out the drainage holes at the bottom. That's your confirmation that the entire root zone got wet, not just the top 2 inches. Here is the schedule. Preheat this out, put it on your refrigerator, tape it to your garden shed. Cool spring, soil temperature below 60 degrees Fahrenheit, water every 3 to 4 days. The soil holds moisture much longer when it's cool, and roots aren't actively transpiring at full rate. Wild spring, air temperature between 65 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit, water every 2 to 3 days. This is where most of us are right now in April across zones 5 through 7. The finger test is your daily check. If it's dry at 2 inches by day 2, water. If it's still damp, wait. Warm summer, 75 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, every 1 to 2 days. Once temperatures push into this range, containers lose moisture much faster than in-ground beds. Test in the morning. If you're dry by early afternoon, water. Hot summer, above 85 degrees Fahrenheit, water containers daily. Check them at noon. A 15-gallon container in full sun at 90 degrees Fahrenheit can go from moist to bone dry in 8 to 10 hours on a windy day. And rain. One of the most common mistakes is skipping watering after any rain, no matter how little. A light 5-minute shower might wet the surface and do almost nothing below an inch. Use the finger test the day after rain. Never assume. Not all soils behave the same way with water. And if you don't know what type of soil you're working with, any watering schedule is just a starting point. 3 types you're most likely dealing with in an American backyard. Clay soil, common in the Midwest, parts of the South, Pacific Northwest valleys. Clay holds water for a long time. If you're on clay and you water every day, you're almost certainly overwatering. Reduce your frequency by 30 to 40% compared to the schedule I just gave you, and always do the finger test before watering. Sandy soil, common in Florida, the Gulf Coast, parts of the Southwest and Southeast. Sandy soil drains very fast. Water moves through it in hours, not days. If you're on sandy soil, you may need to water more frequently than the schedule suggests, sometimes daily, even in mild weather. Add compost every season to improve water retention. Loam, the dark, crumbly soil you see in a good raised bed or well-amended garden, holds water well, drains well, and gives your roots the best of both worlds. If you're building raised beds or containers, this is what you're building toward. Equal parts sandy drainage and clay water holding with plenty of organic matter. Here's a 30-second test to know which type you have. Grab a handful of moist soil. Squeeze it. If it holds a rigid shape and feels slick, that's clay. If it crumbles immediately and feels gritty, that's sandy. If it holds a shape for a few seconds and then crumbles when you poke it, that's loam. Adjust your watering accordingly. Here's what this comes down to. Watering every day feels like you're doing more for your plants, but what you're actually doing is training them to be weak. Shallow roots, oxygen-starved soil, half-capacity nutrient absorption. The wet-dry cycle, deep watering, followed by a partial dry period, does the opposite. It pushes roots deeper, it opens the soil to oxygen. It builds a plant that can handle heat, a missed day, and the pressure of producing a full harvest. 3 rules. Test at 2 inches, not the surface. Water deeply and infrequently, not shallowly and often. Adjust for your soil type and the temperature outside. Those 3 things, applied consistently, will change your garden more than any fertilizer, any amendment, any variety choice you make this spring. The next video in this series is one of the most important things you can watch before you plant anything else this spring. Your last frost date, the one Google gives you, the one on every gardening chart, is almost certainly wrong for your specific location. And planting based on a wrong frost date can wipe out an entire tray of seedlings in one night. That's the next one. If this helped you, subscribe. New videos every few days. Always practical, always backed by real research. I'll see you in the next one.